Welcome back, everyone, to Spiritual Context for Worldly Chaos. And this is part 3 of Megan Leatherman's 2023 interview. Enjoy. I love this because it's so true. It's very hard for us to separate what we're good at from what we make money doing. One of my, I've had a couple of clients where one of them actually was really great. She already knew that her main job was fueled all of the other interests that she had. And she pursued that main job simply because she knew, and I think her dad did the same job as well. So she had an example of somebody doing the same thing. They just both went into anesthesiology. And they were like, this is because I want to study things. I want to travel. I want to, put my mind to things that don't have to have a result, and nobody's standing over me, and there's no measure to how well I do this, and they chose this job because you can also, you can work 24 hours and then you have the rest of your week off. And I'm really jealous of those people. That's such a special quality to have, to be able to make money with your mind and not feel so overwhelmed by how much of a purpose it has to be. And then you can also spend the rest of your time living out that purpose that you're talking about. There's another woman who was kind of at a crossroads. Do I go down this, kind of doula route, or do I continue with this inspired creative work? And, there were a couple of reasons why I felt that she should go the creative route, but to stay with the doula as something that she loves to do because she volunteers for it. And I was like, this is your purpose. This is something that you do in order to connect yourself to the thing that you find uplifting, and it just, makes your world beautiful. So, and I had to ask her, I know this is capitalistic, but we also have to, recognize that if we try to go certain routes, we sometimes get, like your other client, we get exhausted. If you try to go the doula route, I was like, and this isn't everybody, obviously, but I said, how many people in your life have just that as their job? They probably have to work other jobs. And she was like, oh, that's true. And I was like, yeah, so it's not to say you wouldn't want to do that, but I'm just saying, why would you, if you have another outlet to make money from, you can just simply enjoy this aspect. Like money changes everything. Everything, if you have a higher purpose, or if you feel called to something that, just makes you light up inside, and you can put your mind to something else, kind of count yourself lucky. Like, I'm not like that. My higher purpose, I make money on. So it's a different experience I have with it. I have to be a sober mind, and a gifted mind, and a compassionate mind, and a starving mind, and I'm constantly in some kind of mode, instead of being able to put it down, until maybe hopefully I reach a level where I can more consciously do that, like what you're talking about. But yeah, I think a higher purpose, people need to come out of this. You can, being a mother, a lot of times, being a father, being a protector, these are all maybe larger words that you can even put on to the higher purpose, to take away the detailed, it has to be like this. It's like, no, these are large concepts that you can be a part of without maybe making all of your money off of it, or making money at all on it. It's just what you have to express this.
Yeah, definitely. It's complicated, and that's not a problem. And it's so individualistic for each person that, yes, you are this soulful being with a purpose larger than any one job title, and you live inside of capitalism and have bills, and both of those things are true at the same time. So we have to find the different ways to reconcile them throughout our lives based on our needs. And yeah, sometimes our path is to reconcile those as much as we can and earn money from the thing that feels like our purpose, which can be really uncomfortable and lifelong work. And for others of us, it's to, if we have the energy to work a job and then come back to the thing and not put financial pressure on it. So yeah, just tons of permission to kind of meet wherever you are at any one time and just hold both of those things as true.
That's amazing. Do you do group work as well? Is it just one-on-one? That was one of the first ones you did in person, right? Was a group experience. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody support each other then, or is it you working with people one-on-one, or is it a communal kind of feeling? Everyone's sort of involved in it.
Yeah, it's taken lots of forms throughout the years. For a while, I was sort of stewarding this virtual community for a couple of years where we would meet in person and also had a virtual space. And I was sort of holding that container, but it was more sort of community driven. Other times I've been sort of the facilitator of these groups. So I'm kind of, again, holding the space and creating the container and the curriculum. And so, yeah, it's changed and gone lots of different directions over the years.
Ooh, curriculum. So there's more than just going into the woods. There's what, worksheets, there's pamphlets, there's things I fill out. What do I do? That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have had this workbook that has changed over the years, but my one-on-one clients, we move through a seasonal workbook together. So we're doing work for all 4 of the seasons in our time together. And then for the different groups that I've run, there's been a workbook of some kind. I find that really helpful to just have a little bit of structure. And it's all based kind of on the seasons and on the things that we're moving through together. So yeah, that's always been a part of it.
Man, that just makes me feel so good that this is something that is out there in general, because I think it is hard to, accept or, put yourself in that position anymore. When you're younger, it's easier to run out into the woods if it's near you. But when you're older, it's like you have to, you're living on capitalism's cycles. You're living on their 9 to 5, if you're, or 10 to 8, I mean, even me, working 12 to 12 is still a capitalistic cycle, because it's I have to just keep grinding in order to, create stability for myself. And to go out into nature, it's there's nothing around you that's, your personal comfort. And so it's kind of moving into your higher purpose in a way that kind of strips all of the money from it, strips all of the expectations and the ladder, right? And it's well, we're just going to sit with what you've got and respect what you've got and connect with what you've got. If you love to paint, why aren't you just painting? Why does it have to be that you have to sell a $500 painting? Why can't you just, I just think that's so important that this work is available and it can separate things for people where we're all so entrenched in, and we have to be, because that's bills, taxes, death, that's what they've set us up into. And I think now people like you are trying to create that space for other people to take a break, and really reconsider, or just consider it all. What's most important to you? What's the most valuable thing to you? So when you start reading these, this higher purpose, you start reading the cards. What are you looking for? Are you looking for, in terms of the suits, are you looking for, cups for art, or pentacles for stability and structure, or wands for initiative? What are you what are you looking for in the spread?
Yeah, I mean, every spread is different depending on the person that I'm reading for. So I read asynchronously, so I sort of get information from the person and then I do the reading on my own and compile it in a, photos and document and an audio recording. So the spread changes for everyone, but there are a few core elements. I usually inquire about what the last season was like for them or what they've left behind, what's important for them to know in the next, upcoming season. Depending on their situation, it could be questions about whether they're meant to stay where they are, how can they start creating new momentum, what form does their purpose want to take right now, what is their soul most hungry for. So the spread sort of shifts, but those are some examples. And then I'm not looking for any one particular thing. I'm most often trying to feel into I guess I'm trying not to use language that's used all the time, kind of, I guess, like the vibe of the reading, sort of like how do all the cards go together. I usually calculate someone's life path card, which I learned about from Mary Kay Greer, sort of distilling someone's date of birth into a number and mapping that on. And then I also calculate their current year card to get a sense of like the overarching theme for their year. So with their life path card, I'm looking at sort of what are they gifted in already? What did they come into this lifetime with? And also where are they challenged? And then their current year card is sort of like the main lesson that they're in for this year. And then and then the 5 questions that I ask are sort of getting into the nitty gritty of that. So yeah, the readings are designed to just essentially help someone get clarity about what their purpose is right now and how they can live into the fullness of that, and honor the desires that are there and the momentum that's already there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a pretty big spread. How many, I mean, I know it's different every single time, but would you say that it's, 20 cards or something? Because that sounds like a lot of, it's less than that.
No, yeah, I'm just doing the life path card, the year card, and then 5 questions. So it's only 7 cards.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. I was like, woo, wow, we're going everywhere. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah. Well, do you look out for anything in particular? Because when I think of higher purpose, I mean, obviously judgment has a lot of different, I guess, translations to it. But judgment to me is probably major arcana wise, you're getting called to something, or this is something that you put aside or that you've denied in yourself, or that it's something coming back to life in you. Do you work with it? Do you work with that card in particular? Or is there like something you do with majors, or is there any particular way that you do it? Like, or is it just that you flip out the cards of whatever it is and the life path number?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if there are majors in the reading, those often feel really important, that there are these like larger cycles that you're moving through rather than the sort of day-to-day minors. Not that either is good or bad, but yeah, if there are lots of majors in the spread, I'll focus. It feels like it's a larger transition than just, a choice that needs to be made. But I think the entire deck really speaks to our higher purpose, because to me, the tarot is about learning how to be here in a good way that honors our spiritual selves and also honors our bodies and our material needs. And so every card in the deck speaks to that to me. And maybe that's just because that's how I've always read it, but they're all medicinal in some way.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, and I hope to see you next time. And as always, as above, so below, blessed be.